Good morning. I'd like to welcome you all to the EAL webinar, the Plumbing and Gas and How to Maximise Resources. My name is Jason Marsland and I'm a product specialist, and my role is to develop and maintain qualifications. Below my image you will see a chat room. You can add comments here as we go along. If there are any questions that you'd like to raise, please write them there and I'll pick them up at the end of the session. Now on to the presentation. Okay, so the qualifications that we've got are quite flexible in delivery. We can have them as full-time, summer courses, evening courses. It's roll-on, roll-off progression. They can progress to high-level qualifications. There's also can be used for support for people who are not in education and or training. The advantages of these qualifications is that you're already offering our Level 2 or Level 3 MBQ Diploma in Plumbing and Heating. There's no additional setup costs, and there's an option to reduce resources and combine classes. That's what we're going to focus on this webinar, combining classes and reducing resources. We're going to now look at our provision that we've got. So this is our Level 1. We have an award, certificate and diploma in building services. At the certificate level, you can be quite specific in the areas that you cover. So we can do plumbing, heating and vent, refrigeration, air conditioning, or an electrical room. If we move on to the diploma, which is a multi-skilled operations qualification, you then cover all the areas. Hopefully this should then give the learner a good idea of where they would like to progress into what industry. We now look at our plumbing provision. We have a Level 1, which is our diploma. We have a Level 2, which is an award, certificate and diploma. We have a Level 3, which again comes in the award, certificate and diploma. Moving on to gas utilisation, this again we have a Level 2 and a Level 3. The Level 2 is award, certificate and diploma. The Level 3 is at the diploma level. With most of the qualifications, we've tried to give the award, certificate and diploma, which will then help put learning programmes together. I'm going to focus now on our Level 1 provision. If you look at this, these are all the units in the diploma in plumbing. So we have safe working practices, environmental protection measures, scientific principles, introduction to building services, fundamental plumbing systems, fundamental common plumbing processes, drilling and fixing of pipe and supports, low carbon steel, copper tube and plastic pipework. That is the full diploma in plumbing. The top unit, the top four, they're shared within the following qualifications. So our EAL Level 1 Diploma in Building Services, the multi-skilled operative, the EAL Level 1 Award and Certificate in Building Services, and the EAL Level 1 Certificate in Access to Building Services. So these units can be run as combined classes over all of these qualifications. The units that you can now see, they have been specifically designed for the plumbing. So we have fundamental plumbing systems, fundamental common plumbing processes, drilling and fixing of pipe supports, low carbon steel, copper tube, plastic pipework. These all come with workbooks which will help you work through the unit and up to the assessments. We'll now look at our Level 2 provision, and we're going to start. Take just 1 minute. Sorry about that. So now we've got our Level 2 provision. And what we've got on the screen now is our Level 2 MBQ Diploma in Plumbing and Heating. So we've got our safe working practices, communicate with others, environmental protection measures, apply safe working practices, which is the on-site health and safety unit, carry out site preparation, that's pipework fabrication techniques, cold water, hot water, central heating, scientific principles, rainwater systems, above ground drainage, and again the on-site for the install and maintain domestic plumbing and heating systems. All of the Level 2 provision is based around these units. So here we have our Level 2 Diploma in Plumbing and Heating, and again we've got the health and safety, communicate with others, scientific principles, pipework fabrication, cold water, hot water, central heating, above ground drainage and an electrical unit. The units that you can see now are a direct lift from the level 2 MVQ. So they communicate with others. Cold water, hot water, central heating and above ground drainage are exactly the same. So therefore it has the same input, same assessment criteria and the same assessment methods are used. So they are key for being used as combined classes. The following units, the health and safety, scientific principles and pipework fabrication, have been redeveloped from the full level 2 MVQ diploma. So if we take, for example, the pipework fabrication unit in the level 2 MVQ, we would expect the learner to complete a pipework framework, different materials, different jointing activities and different types of bends, and they will then produce a pipework frame to measurements. It's exactly the same frame that we use for this. We've used the same assessment criteria and we've managed to keep it mapped in so we'll do the same activities. Therefore, again, for combining classes, it's really useful and you know what resources you need. What we've also got is an electrical unit. This is new to the full-time BRQs in so much that it gives them the basic understanding of electrics and takes them up to safe isolation but no further. We now move on to our gas utilisation qualification. Again, these are the units that are in there: the health and safety, communicate with others, scientific principles, pipework fabrication techniques, environmental protection measures, core gas safety principles, central heating and the electrical unit. If you look at the units that we've got now, that's the communicate with others, environmental protection measures and central heating. They're a direct lift from the level 2 MVQ and as such have the same inputs, same assessment criteria and same assessment methods. As before, these have been redeveloped from the full level 2 MVQ diploma and again, if we take the pipework fabrication techniques as an example, that uses the same assessment criteria and you will produce the same pipework frame that you'd have done in the level 2 diploma and level 2 MVQ diploma in plumbing and heating. This is a unit that is unique and specific to the level 2, the core gas safety principles. That has been designed specifically for this and covers the underpinning knowledge you need to know about core gas safety. It will look at gas safety regulations, the basics of fluid, basics of ventilation and basic gas safety controls. And finally we have our electrical unit, which is the same as in the level 2 plumbing diploma, and it gives them the electrical principles and takes them up to safe isolation. If we now look at the units side by side, so these are the two qualifications, but please bear in mind that these do all map back into the full level 2 MVQ diploma. So if we look at that now, these units can be run as combined classes. So the health and safety, communicate with others, scientific principles, pipework fabrication techniques and the electrical unit can be run as combined classes, the plumbing diploma, the gas utilisation diploma and the plumbing MVQ diploma. If we now look at it with the specific routes, so if we take the plumbing as the first start, we have cold water, hot water and above ground drainage. As you can see from that, they are a direct lift from the level 2 MVQ diploma and there's 168 guided learning hours there. If you look at the gas one, we have the environmental protection measures and the core gas safety principles. They're 158 guided learning hours. So the idea would be to run the initial units for the first potentially 2/3 of the year and the last third separate them into two groups, the gas and the plumbing, where they can take their specific routes. We can RPL from the full-time level 2 plumbing to the full level 2 MVQ, and this would be professional discussion with the 3 units that we said have been redeveloped would have to cover all the assessment criteria not covered in the full unit. The additional knowledge units which haven't been covered, and that's applying that environmental protection measures and rainwater, and then performance on-site units, which is the apply safe working practices and install and maintain domestic plumbing and heating systems. We now look at the gas utilisation. For the gas utilisation, it can be used if you take a gas-specific route, and that will be if you use the central heating option and the plumbing units can be RPL'd into there. If the learner wants to change from the gas and go to plumbing and heating, they can be used as RPL, so that the work they've done is still useful. So that will comprise of a professional discussion, and again covering all assessment criteria not covered, the additional knowledge units which they haven't done, so that's rainwater, cold water, hot water and above ground drainage, and then the performance unit, which is apply safe working practices, install and maintain domestic plumbing and heating systems. When we look at the performance units, we do have guidance on the website that covers what they would need to complete on site to satisfy the needs for these. We're now going to look at our level 3 provision, and as before, we're going to start with our level 3 MVQ diploma in domestic plumbing and heating. These are the main options, or the main units that you will cover, and then you would choose a pathway which would either be a gas route or an environmental technologies route. So we have organising resources, carrying out electrical work, cold water, hot water, central heating, sanitation, and then the performance unit of install, commission, service and maintain domestic plumbing systems. If we now look at the diploma in plumbing and heating, these are the units that we've got. So organised resources, cold water, hot water, central heating, sanitation, and core gas safety principles. These units that are there are the full unit. They've just been a direct lift from the level 3 MVQ diploma, and as such will have the same input, use the same assessment criteria and assessment methods. The core gas safety principles is a new unit that's been taken from the level 3 MVQ diploma pathway for gas options. So this again is a direct lift from the pathway for the gas options. So if we look at these and see how the units run together, on the left hand side we've got the diploma, and on the right we've got the MVQ diploma. If you see this, these units are identical and can be run as combined classes. So organising resources, cold water, hot water, central heating and sanitation, they can be run as combined classes because it is identical, they are identical units. If we then look at these are the following units. So if we look at the diploma, to complete the qualifications, they would then do the core gas safety principles. This is part of the gas pathway and can be RPL'd over to there. If you look at the MVQ, the units they would do is the on-site install, commission, service and the electrical unit. An RPL can be used from the level 3 plumbing and heating to the full level 3 MVQ, and it will comprise of the following. They'd have to do the electrical unit, which they haven't done, and then the performance on-site unit, install, commission, service and maintain domestic plumbing and heating systems, and then their chosen pathway, which again could be either gas or environmental technologies. We now look at our gas utilisation for core skills and knowledge at level 3. These are the main units that we're going to cover. So we've got health and safety, scientific principles, combustion and properties of gas, building services and structures, and gas safety. This is a knowledge-only qualification. If you take this qualification, it's not sufficient being registered with Gas Safe, and it can't be used to get access to an ACS centre. These units can be used as RPL evidence into any of the appliance pathway options. Basically, with the appliance pathway options, we have to complete these 5 units before we can move into the specifics. All the appliance pathways do lead to Gas Safe registration in the applicable ACS categories, and the pathways are made up of installation, maintenance, and installation and maintenance. So now what we're going to do, we're going to have an overview of the plumbing and gas qualifications at the entry point and how they can progress from the VRQ to the MVQ and then finally to gas safe registration. The first one we're going to look at is for the VRQ. Now we've got entry points at level 1 diploma in plumbing, so we can have a learner coming in at level 1. They would then progress on to the level 2 and they could either go to the plumbing and heating or the gas utilisation at level 2. Alternatively, they could come straight in and do the level 2 diploma in plumbing and heating and the level 2 diploma in gas utilisation. If they do the plumbing and heating, they would then progress onto the level 3 diploma in plumbing and heating. A candidate can come direct into the level 3 diploma in gas utilisation. None of these earn registration with gas safe and will not be recognised by an ACS centre. Okay, so now we'll look at going from the VRQ to the MVQ of how they would fit together. For somebody that's done the level 2 diploma in plumbing and heating, that can be RPL'd into the level 2 MVQ diploma in domestic plumbing and heating. Likewise, somebody that's completed the level 3 diploma in plumbing and heating, they could use that as evidence to RPL into the level 3 MVQ diploma, plus a pathway option. And somebody that's done the level 2 diploma in gas utilisation, if they want to carry on with the gas, they can carry on onto the level 3 diploma in gas utilisation, or if they want to change and be a plumber, they can use that evidence as RPL. Now we'll look at how we get to gas safe registration. Please note at this point, gas safe registration, all the information is uploaded to gas safe, but it doesn't become live until the individual or the company they're working for applies to gas safe registration to have them registered. So looking at that, we have a level 2 MVQ diploma in domestic plumbing and heating. They would then progress onto the level 3 MVQ diploma in domestic plumbing and heating and choose a gas pathway option. That would then enable them to go onto the gas safe registration. If we then look onto the right, we've got our level 2 MVQ diploma in domestic heating. They would then progress onto the level 3 MVQ diploma in domestic heating, plus a gas pathway. Their information will be uploaded to gas safe. And then finally, a level 3 diploma, we're just using this one as an example, the installation and maintenance, water heating and wet centre heating. That would then enable them to go to gas safe register. Also, what I thought was worth a mention is our induction to personal learning. With 2 qualifications there, we've got a level 1 award in induction to personal learning and a level 2. It comprises of 1 unit, which is 3 credits and 3 guided learning hours. The key benefits of this one is all centres will deliver some sort of induction, and basically if you build it around this qualification, you may get funding for it. It's very generic, the qualification, and it can support anything and at any level. It is assessed by a portfolio of evidence, and a logbook has been developed for the learner to complete. It's not an MVQ, but it is assessed by a portfolio of evidence. So some key facts on that one. The externally centre-marked assessment is in the form of an assessment booklet, and from this we'll get most, if not all, of the evidence required for the learner's portfolio. We must complete all of the sections of the booklet to achieve a pass, merit, a distinction, and if they've met the criteria in a different way, it must be referenced. This logbook can be tailored to meet your induction needs. Any questions? So I'll give you a few minutes to type your questions in, and then I'll try and go through them. There are a few people typing now, just wait for the responses. The presentation will be sent out to everybody after the presentation, so that will be sent out. Okay, thank you for that. Thanks, Miko. Any more questions? Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for watching the webinar. If anyone thinks of any questions at a later time, please do email and we will respond to you. Okay, thanks a lot.